Oh! Yeah, well, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that there isn't a tutorial of, like, just the whole route. I mean, I guess because Banjo-Kazooie is fairly self-explanatory, but there is a lot of interesting small tricks and tidbits to point out that would be helpful to know. But once you understand, like, after you watch this video once, if you understand all the things that I'm saying, don't watch this again for reference for the route. Just watch Stib's run. Hold or press Z here to get rid of or get all the jiggies put in place. Yeah, this is basically about a year overdue, I would say, Smasher. Alright, so here, we're gonna do Talon Trot, and then I find that you don't want to jump from the very edge of this. You want to jump from, like, right here, and then when you go underwater, you want to wait until you're fully go into the tube, and then press B. Like, you'll kind of see that it saves time, just the nature of how it works, because I kind of go into the next area. If you jump at the very edge of that platform, then you'll kind of slow down because you'll hit the wall. And so you want to jump earlier so that you kind of keep your momentum as you go into that pipe. That's another, again, like a little tiny thing to mention. Don't worry about it too much if you're confused by that, but... Also, I never said thanks for the raid, V-Man. I hope you're still here, but thanks for the raid. Okay. Here, you're just gonna take damage. It doesn't matter if you take damage here at all, because when you enter the level, you're gonna talk to bottles, so... Here, you are gonna use the way that the slope mechanic works, where as long as your shadow touches flat ground, you can jump on a slope again. It doesn't even look like a slope, but I mean, I'm technically on a little slope here, which is enough for the game, where if I jumped again on a slope without touching my shadow touching flat ground, it would slide off and I would take damage. So what you do is you want to alternate between each side of the pipe, and that way your shadow will keep touching flat ground. Like that. The reason that you do this now is that you'll be crocodile after, or an alligator, yeah, crocodile, after this level ends, so you can't go over here and do this, so yeah, you want to do it now. Anything that you see in the route that you're like, why did they do that? It has a very good reason. There isn't really anything in this route that's just like, oh, that could be changed. Like, it's a very optimized route. I mean, there will be some things, but that could be changed in the future, but it's definitely not like a route that can be changed a whole bunch. Unless, of course, a glitch is found. You know, there's always that. Crocagator. Wow, that is very original. Alright, so we got full health from bottles there. Obviously, you have to talk to him because he's giving you all these moves, but that was the second to last move. No, third to last move. We're still gonna get the beak bomb and also the speed boot turbo, whatever. Here, if the leaf lines up, you can take the leaf over. If not, just jump over and take the 1 damage. Here, we're gonna take 2 more damage. You can't do these notes without taking the 2 damage. You can get pretty close, but you really can't do it. Here, to do this as fast as possible, I'm going to jump away from the egg, and then I'm going to start moving back towards it and rat-tat-tat up the egg as I break it. Like that, and then I'm going to ground pound, fall over here, do the beak bomb, and then ground pound on top. The only one that you really need to know, or like watch, is The one where you turn around and rat-tat-tat back up. I'll just take the leaf back here, although you could take damage and go back. It's up to you. Alright. Whoops. After you shoot this egg into his mouth, you can enter Town Trot, and you can also start moving back towards the main route here. Oops. Grab some of these eggs if you need them, if you're low. But you shouldn't be low here. If you're low here, then you're gonna have a problem in Gobies, so you should definitely look out for getting some more eggs. You should have at least 20. Okay, here, you can't take damage when you jump down there because you start the cutscene right before you touch the ground, so you just kind of, damage isn't gonna happen. And then we're just gonna use Wonder Wing and kill these guys. I like to jump up and meet them in the air so that you can kind of make better contact with them. Ugh. I was waiting for that last one because you want to land on top of this Jiggy here, because then you get the little skip, a little bit of time save, I guess. Also, you want to make sure you have at least 4 health here. I think technically you could do this with 3, but it is now Huts time. So, the Huts. The infamous Huts. I've lost runs of this recently. I still do. I shouldn't, but I still do. Basically, the reason people have trouble with it is because they like to wait until after the peak of the hut. But you really want to jump just before you hit this peak. And then you want to rat-tat-tat as soon as you touch the next platform to get up it. So, like that. It really just takes some practice, and the problem is when you start to try to go fast and do them all in succession, you end up failing it like once, and if you fail it once, then you have to redo all of them. So yeah. I don't know why I broke that one. I was supposed to do the whatever. You got to see how it works. It's the same way for that one too. This one though, is technically possible to do the hut jump, but it's ridiculously hard to time. Nobody does it, so. This last one is thankfully, I would consider the easiest, although if you did mess it up, it would also be the most tragic. So yeah. If you're having trouble with jungle huts and you feel like doing the first few, probably shouldn't do the last one. Okay. Do a backflip up here. You can technically jump up there while on Talon Trot, but it's a little precise. Let's do a backflip. I press R here to change my angle, and here too to change the angle around. And then I like to hold R here and get there like that. Do a backflip. Oops. This fly can be annoying. I like to just rat-tat-tat, and then that was a pretty cool thing that I just did there. After I shot the egg, I went into Talon Trot and then jumped. During the cutscene, I went into the water, this water that would normally hurt you, but it didn't, because it was during the cutscene. and then after the cutscene, it still doesn't hurt you, so you can jump out of that water and be perfectly fine, save a little bit of time. Here, after you shoot this is the last one that you have to shoot of this crocodile guy, and then you'll get the Jiggy. Right after you shoot it, you're gonna want to do a little hop and kind of, or just walk towards the center where the Jiggy will be, so that you can get a little bit of a skip. Oops. I didn't get it because the dragonfly was in the way. Silly dragonfly RNG. Another silly thing about this dragonfly is, if he hits you during a cutscene, then you can actually move in the cutscene afterwards. But only if you get hit by him. And so that can provide a little bit of time save in a different way, but it's obviously kind of RNG. Okay. Oops. Alright, time for some memorizing. I'm not really going to talk during this because there's not much to talk about. Besides that, the hitboxes can be really trolly sometimes. And I think there's theories on why the hitboxes are annoying, but nothing concrete. Sometimes, you know, like, I can be right on top of them just like this and it won't work. But it doesn't happen all the time. Okay. For this one, you're gonna want to type it in if you can't memorize it, like me. So I'm just typing it into my chat, or, you know, notepad or whatever. Just in case you forget it, so then you don't have to talk to him again, else that would waste a lot of time. Oops. Ah! Oh, there it was. There's one of them. One of the bad hitbox things. Alright. Move that from my chat. So I'm gonna go back and grab the Mumbo token, and then I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna do, yeah, backflip and then ground pound and then grab the Jiggy. Okay, so now is a good time to ask yourself, how many health do I have? Because you want to have either 5 health or 3 health. If the reason is, if you have 5 health, that means that by the time you get to Vile, the crocodile, then you will have 3. And he hits you for 2 damage if you lose the Vile round. So if you're just starting and it's your first few runs, or actually, I'd say until you're, you know, until you're pretty confident with the game, I would go with 5. That way, if you lose on, like, the last round, you can just take the damage, talk to him again, and repeat that last round, and then continue on your way. If you were to repeat the last round, if that would cause you to reset because your time's too good, and then I would go with 3 health, which means you will have 1 health when you fight Vile, and if you lose, then game over. So, yeah. But that way, then you can Death Warp as fast as possible, which you will see at the end of the level. So, I have 3 health, which is actually not what I want, because I'm doing a tutorial. I will take 5 health for if some crazy reason I lose to Vile, because sometimes the RNG can really screw you over. And yeah, so I will take 5 health, just in case. But normally I would never grab 5 health in a run. This is a little bit of a scary part. We're gonna enter Talon Trot, and then we're gonna jump over there as fast as possible. I actually find that Talon Trot gives you a lot of control over where you're like if you're in midair, you have a lot of hang time and a lot of time to like adjust exactly where you are, to help make sure that you're not gonna land not on that walkway, because that would obviously be very, very bad. Okay. Here we got 2 text, and then we're gonna go up here, and we're gonna grab this honeycomb. Please don't forget that. That would suck if you forgot that in a run, and then your run is like disqualified. Okay. Okay, we're gonna talk to Vile. Funny thing about Vile, you actually can't skip this text because then he'll think that you're disagreeing to him playing the game. So you have to hold A here, go through the test as fast as possible, and then press A to accept the match, I guess. Whatever you want to call this horrible mini game. But yeah, I remember liking this as a kid, but in the run it's pretty rough. I mean, it's boring, but it's also scary. So it's like, it's just bad. It's boring because it's like long and you can't do anything to do it faster. There's nothing you can do to make this faster. So it's just, you gotta not mess up. Which is why it's scary. If he has more or ties you at the end of this, then you're screwed. I guess I should talk about some Vile strategies, because there are a lot of Vile strategies you can do. One of the important ones is to try to be aggressive with, like, be on the offense, I guess I could say, for where you're grabbing your, I think they're called Yumblies. So, like, let's say he's going over to grab this, like, these, like, I'm gonna try to be in front of him, so I steal his before he can grab them. But obviously, if there's a bunch of them somewhere else, I'm gonna try to go over and just grab all those. But anytime I can be next to Vile, it's good, because you can steal his, because then he doesn't get any, which means you just get further and further ahead. But if you know that he's going to get there before you, don't waste your time, obviously, because else he's going to do the same thing you were trying to do to him. But the first 2 rounds really aren't that bad. It's just the last round that can be pretty scary. Another thing you can do is you can jump and grab him in the air, like that. Perfect example. Even though he was kind of like closer to it, I was in the air and above him, and if you spam B, then you can get it. Here, to know when the Yumblies are going to change, it changes every, like on the 10-second mark. So right now it's going to change because we're at 50, and then it'll change again when we go to 40. Also, all these guys are disappearing. It's ridiculous. Alright, so I better get ready for the swap, so I'm gonna get set up with some reds. Basically, if you catch your eye on some, like, oh, there's some red ones, or like right now, there's some yellows, I'm gonna go over to these yellows and be ready for the change. I don't know, that's just what I do. Like, right now, I'm gonna be ready for all these reds. I am... Uh-oh. This is where the game can kind of troll you, because you'll go for a bunch of them and they disappear in front of you, or, you know, Vile gets a bunch of just really easy ones right in front of him. Oh my gosh, please don't get that. Okay. Okay. I think a lot of people like to spam B here. Is it faster, I think? I mean, I don't know. If you're holding down B during this, you kind of can't, you don't have control of where you're going as much. You kind of slide around. Like, you can see I'm kind of like, whoa. So, obviously, you only want to do that when you're just going straight and you're not trying to do any technical stuff. Okay. Death Warp, which normally I would only have to get hit by this Firefly once, Dragonfly, sorry, but because I have 3 health because I was doing safety strats, I have to get hit 3 times. Yep. Jump, leave the zone.